How Rockefeller secretly controlled America, the untold truth. They called him the richest man in history. But money was never the real story. Because John D. Rockefeller didn't just build wealth, he built control. Control over oil, control over banks, control over politicians, and some believe control over America itself, while the public saw a quiet old man handing out dimes. Behind the scenes, Rockefeller was creating a system so powerful that parts of it may still exist today. This is not just the story of a billionaire. This is the story of how one man quietly changed the destiny of the United States forever. And the truth is far darker than most people realize. In the late 1800s, America was exploding with opportunity. Railroads were expanding, factories were rising, cities were growing. Overnight, and one thing powered it all, oil was the blood of the new industrial world. It lit homes, powered machines, fueled transportation. Whoever controlled oil could control the future. And Rockefeller understood this before almost anyone else. While others rushed to drill wells and chase fast money, he focused on something smarter: control of refining. He knew the real power wasn't in finding oil, it was in controlling what happened after. So while others competed, he calculated, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. He entered the oil business in Cleveland. At first, he looked like just another businessman, disciplined, religious, polite, but underneath that calm exterior was one of the most ruthless strategic minds in American history. He cut deals in secret. He studied every competitor. He knew every weakness, and when the moment came, he struck. In 1870, Rockefeller founded Standard Oil. That was the beginning. But what happened next changed America forever. He didn't beat competitors the normal way. He crushed them. He made secret agreements with railroads to get cheaper shipping rates, while his rivals paid full price. Rockefeller paid less, much less. Sometimes railroads even paid him rebates from his competitors' shipments. Imagine that. Your enemy pays less and profits from your own business. Most people never saw it happening. But Rockefeller did. He was building a monopoly. One refinery after another began to fall. Some sold to him, some were destroyed, some had no choice. People called it the Cleveland Massacre, because in just months, he took control of nearly the entire oil refining business in the city, and Cleveland was only the beginning. Soon, Standard Oil was swallowing everything: pipelines, railroads, refineries, distribution, retail, every step, every dollar, every drop. By the 1880s, Standard Oil controlled around 90% of America's oil industry. 90%. Think about that. One man, one company, one empire. America ran on oil, and oil ran through Rockefeller. But controlling oil wasn't enough. Real power required something deeper: influence, politics, protection, and Rockefeller understood that too. Publicly, he looked harmless. A church-going Baptist, a family man, a philanthropist, someone who donated to schools and medical research, someone who smiled for newspapers. But privately, Washington paid attention, because when one company controls the energy of an entire nation, government decisions start looking very different. Politicians knew Standard Oil mattered. Banks knew it. Railroads knew it. Everyone knew it. Rockefeller rarely needed to shout. Power speaks quietly. Some historians argue he didn't control the government directly. He didn't need to. Dependence was enough. When industries depend on you, influence becomes automatic, and that influence reached far beyond oil. Banking, steel, transportation, finance, his network spread everywhere. This wasn't just business. It was infrastructure, the hidden skeleton of modern America. But eventually, America started asking dangerous questions. How much power is too much? Was Standard Oil simply successful, or was it strangling competition itself? Journalists began investigating. Public anger grew. And then came one woman who changed everything. Ida Tarbell. She was a journalist, patient, brilliant, relentless. She spent years exposing the truth behind Standard Oil, not rumors, facts, documents, deals, secret arrangements, quiet corruption. Her reporting shocked the nation. For the first time, ordinary Americans could see the machine behind the curtain, and they hated it. Rockefeller had spent years building the perfect public image. Tarbell tore through it. Suddenly, he wasn't just a genius businessman, he was the face of corporate greed, the symbol of monopoly, the king of unchecked power. Public pressure exploded, and the government could no longer ignore it. In 1911, the United States Supreme Court made its move. Standard Oil was ruled an illegal monopoly. The company would be broken apart. For many Americans, this looked like the end. Finally, the giant had fallen. The government had won. Rockefeller had lost. But here's where the story becomes almost unbelievable. Because breaking up Standard Oil made Rockefeller even richer instead of one giant company. He now owned major shares in many smaller companies. And as those companies grew, so did his fortune. Massively Exxon, Chevron, Mobil, Amoco, pieces of Standard Oil survived everywhere. The empire never truly disappeared. It simply changed shape. The government thought it had destroyed his power. In reality, it multiplied it. Rockefeller didn't lose. He evolved. That may have been his greatest victory of all, but perhaps his smartest move was something even bigger than oil. Legacy. He understood. That money alone doesn't create immortality. Institutions. So he poured massive wealth into universities, medicine, education, research, philanthropy. The University of Chicago, the Rockefeller Foundation. Medical breakthroughs, public health systems. His name became associated not just with greed, but with progress. This changed how history remembered him. Was he a villain? A visionary? A destroyer? A builder? Maybe all of them. That complexity protected him, because people argue over morality, while systems remain untouched, even today. Many of the structures he helped shape still influence the world. Banking, energy, education, global philanthropy. His fingerprints are everywhere, even if most people never notice. So did Rockefeller secretly control America? Maybe not with a throne, not with an election, not with a crown, but through systems, ownership, dependency, institutions. That kind of power is far stronger because it doesn't look like power. It looks like normal life. The lights turning on, fuel reaching stations, banks approving, loans, universities opening doors, power hidden inside ordinary things. That was Rockefeller's genius. He made control invisible, and invisible power is the hardest to fight. He didn't just become rich. He helped design the rules of the game itself. And once you control the rules, you no longer need to control the players. That is how Rockefeller may have secretly controlled America. And perhaps the most unsettling question is this. If his system never truly disappeared, who controls it now? Because history doesn't always end. Sometimes it just changes names. And maybe the most dangerous truth of all is that history never really ends. It simply changes names. The people change, the companies change, the faces change, but power survives. Rockefeller understood that better than anyone. He knew that true control isn't loud, it's invisible, and the most powerful empires are the ones people no longer notice. So the next time you hear the name Rockefeller, remember, you may not be looking at history. You may be looking at the system still running today. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden truths behind the world's most powerful men, make sure to subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just tell history, we expose what history tried to hide. Leave a comment below. Do you think Rockefeller truly lost? Or did he secretly win everything? Like this video, subscribe, and join us for the next Untold story. Because the truth is always deeper than they tell you.